Order!
Can I have another coffee, please?
Thank you very much. You're a speaker as well as a verbal. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. I'm your chairman, Aidan Squire, and it's my job to get you through the agenda. The leadership team assists me in that. Leadership team, such as you as are here, please be upstanding and introduce themselves.
Good morning, I'm Paul Corrigan, I'm your social secretary.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Terry, your membership and recruitment to outstanding to Ben, and maybe a bit of Scott as well.
Yeah, we're missing Ben, we're missing Scott, we're missing the chair at the end. Thank you, please be seated. Today, we have a Q&A rather than a 10-minute presentation. When the 60-second round comes around, you only have one task when you're listening to everybody. Just find one person to ask one question of. And if we've all got one question for one person, then we'll have a very busy round. Right. The first performance league is the starting point. Scott normally presents that. Because he was taken ill last night, we haven't got any details, other than I can tell you the person in the lead is me. But that's as far as it goes. Education presentation was always followed, and Ben normally introduces this, but he wasn't going to do it today because Paul is here to give you the education story.
Morning. Everyone around the room is busy. Busy with work, personal life, family life, etc. And that should always take precedence. That's the most important thing. Obviously, we've all got EBF stuff which we should be doing, but there's not always enough time. And one of those things is visitors. So I just thought I'd share a few thoughts here to try and make it as easy as possible to get visitors with the least amount of effort, hopefully. And I know that Terry got a few thoughts as well, which he shared with Terry, which he mentioned earlier, which is good. So ideas on getting new visitors is always welcome. But the one thought that I had to make it as easy as possible to get visitors in a systematic way, without a salesy approach to getting visitors along, is on your email footers, why not put a little paragraph just saying something like, I'm looking for a residential conveyancer or whoever to join my business networking group, or something like that, or who's looking for new business. If you know anyone, please put them my way. Now, because obviously these emails get sent out automatically, people will see these requests on the email footer, and it's an easy way to get response, because we all send lots of emails each week, and by having them on the email footer, you're not actually doing any extra work. We're waiting for people to come to us. But make it specific. Don't just say, I'm looking for new members of our business group, or choose your categories you want, and from time to time, change them. Keep it fresh. Make it appealing. You might find after a couple of weeks you put something on your email footer, you think, well, actually, no, I can do better than that, and then change it. Keep it professional, but try and get some interest. The other thing that you can do is, if you're seeing clients in your office or whatever, just have something on your desk about EBF. And what you want them to do is you want them to ask a question. Oh, what's that here? What's this? Oh, yeah, that's a business networking group I belong to. Oh, what's all that about? And then it's an easy way in then. I say it's not a salesy approach, but just these are just separate ways that you can try and get visitors without too much effort and without being too salesy. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful.
Thank you, Paul. Right, membership matters. Terry.
Yeah, thanks, mate. The membership committee have been very busy lately, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, very busy lately, like.
We have.
And so, yeah, very pleased to be able to induct Sylvia today and to come around and give me these bits and pieces. And also, Steve, you weren't here last week, but we announced your membership has been approved, so it's great to have you as a board. We've got some renewals in the pipeline as well. Howard's not here today. Howard has, I don't know if any of you know, work closely with Howard, he's had 2 people leave in very close succession, and he's like completely bogged down. He's trying to recruit new staff. He has renewed, but he wants a couple of months sabbatical at the most, hopefully less. He's still working, still open for referrals, but the poor guy is really swamped, so he needs a share, but he's really struggling. Once he gets his 2 new staff members back on in and online and trained, he'll be back and up and running. So please pronounce Howard's renewal, but as I say, give the guy a break. But if you've got referrals, the business is open for referrals. The other renewals I'll tell you about next week when people are here. So I'll come over and see Sylvia a little bit and see you. And next week, hopefully, have some certificates. Except for we definitely will, and there you go.
Thank you very much. Next
As always, the induction is never as painful as it sounds. Right, we approach the 60-second round, and first of all, we'll send around a little blue box. Put your bits in and get them back to us so that we can assess them. Secondly, I'm sending around a business card box. Check that you're adequately represented in there. Take cards that you might need for your own referrals. Right, so we are at the 60-second round. Once again, let me remind you, it's a Q&A at the end, so keep your ears open. All you've got to do is find one person to ask one question. So we should be able to have a successful Q&A round as a result of that. So, Sarah won the Oscar last week. She will be judging the Oscar this week and award it at the end of the round. So as usual, she will go first. She will be followed by Matt. So Sarah, sure.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sarah Smith from Portal Assistant Services. So today, my 60 seconds is sponsored by 3 letters, a bit like Sesame Street. Doesn't love that. So the letters are CRM. For those who don't know, that stands for Client Relationship Management. And in business, we know how critical it is to look after your clients. Sometimes we just want to say thank you once in a while. So there are some good CRM software tools out there to manage your contacts. You might use that, or just a simple spreadsheet. But who really has time to action those ideas of how to say thank you and keep in touch with your clients? You might want to order a cream tea or a candle. Those tasks mean that you need spreadsheets to keep them up to date, get their contact details, payment methods and gift messages. You might want to invite them to an event or a sporting event, which means booking tickets, liaising over dietary requirements, travel, parking, payment. Ideas and technology don't equal execution, but having a trusted assistant to just deal with things is a gift that you can give yourself.
Thanks, Sarah. Matt, you're next, and we'll follow.
Good morning, everyone. Matt Barry from Reserve. So we've been seeing a few new business opportunities recently, which are around businesses that have been established for sort of 5 to 10 years, but over that time, their brands sort of dated a little bit, but also their service offerings changed, their target markets changed. They've added new products or services to what they're doing. And we're able to not only look at their brand, but align it to their new vision for their business, for how they're adapting their businesses. We've all got to adapt our businesses as time goes on for various reasons. And those are the sort of businesses I'm looking for. So if you know of any organisations that they've been established, but they're changing tacks and they need a little bit more of a clarity in the way that they're positioning themselves, the way their brand aligns with their proposition, then we are the people to go and see. So thanks very much. That's Matt from Q0.
Good man. Mike, you're next, and you're followed by Steve.
Good morning everyone, Mike from Blackwood's Media. We had a really nice day of weather yesterday, which officially means that spring is here, which officially means that summer's here. So now we're in summer. I'm looking for basically all your outdoor, your holiday parks, your activity centres, go-she hotels, glamping parks, things like that, and also caravan clubs and those sort of areas. My whole range of services works really well for this sector. With the video side, you can sort of just do overviews of everything on site. You can break down into activities they have available, showing people around what facilities they have. Photography is hugely important in this sector because effectively when you're looking for someone to go on holiday, you go on the website, you have a look and go, oh, that's nice, if they've got cracking pictures up, you don't book there, as simple as that. And again, the drone works really well because you get nice overhead shots, the scenery, surrounding area, and we can also do top-down shots of like park layouts, maps and things like that. So yeah, if you've got any contacts in the holiday accommodation sector, please pass them my details. Mike at Blackwood's Media. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Steve, you're next, and you're followed by Paul Corrigan.
Well, good morning, guys. I'm Steve Chilton. I'm the account director at ERB Commercial Risk, based up on Brentwood High Street. We are a traditional commercial corporate insurance broker, dealing with any kind of insurance relation, whether it's property, wills-based liability, PIs, cyber. There's a very, very extensive list of insurance I provide. Essentially, I'm still finding the same issues. Clients come to us, they're not really being consulted by their broker, they don't really know what they're paying for, and still some of the larger brokers are still getting certain insurance arrangements wrong. Just essentially, anyone who's got an insurance headache, please send it to me. I'm more than happy to assist. We do approach business like a consultative approach, and in fact, we want to embed ourselves with your business. So as your business grows, we can obviously cover it accordingly with exposure. So anyone who's got an insurance headache, please come speak to Steve at ERB.
Thanks very much, Steve. Just you'll see the list car parks going around when you get a chance. If not this weekend, we get some cars. You can stick them in there as well. Okay, right. Next up is Paul, and you're followed by
I'm on the old Paul Corrigan from Solitaire Plumbing and Heating. Apologies, I haven't been here the last couple of weeks. I had septoplasty surgery of my nose. Open up the airways basically, so hopefully I won't sound like Dave Beckham going forward. Should be nice. But it's been busy, very busy at Solitaire, which is great, not complaining. We have just finished a big air conditioning contract at Wolverhampton Council, which has been really good. We've got another aircon guy working for Solitaire now, so we've got 2 aircon guys, so hopefully hopefully this summer coming up. We also do such a big range of work, literally anything from a block base and waste at a little old lady's house to repairing plumbing heating at Philip Morant School in Colchester, the big secondary school. So if you know of anyone or yourself need someone like us, we're big enough to trust, small enough to care. Thanks very much.
Paul. Clara, you're followed by Paul the
Morning, Clara Downton, Mortgages and Financial Services. So I was having an interesting chat with Paul when I got here this morning with regard to what the market's doing at the moment. And apparently it's record time for listings at the moment, more than the last 10 years, if I remember correctly. And I said that also this year is quite a record year. They're expecting from a remortgage point of view. A lot of people's rates coming to an end. They did a 5-year fix, in the sort of COVID-y sort of times. And now they're coming to the end of that. So there's a lot of people who need help with mortgages. So if you know anybody who's coming up in the next 6 months or potentially thinking about buying or home improvements, and they just need to understand what they can do, then I can happily have a chat with them, talk them through their options, work through what they may be able to do, and then look to take forward for them based on what they decide. So that's Clara Downton, Mortgages and Financial Services. Thanks so much.
Paul, you're next. You're followed by
Good morning everyone, I'm Paul from Essex Business, which means professionally I spend a lot of time talking about death. Now that's not a sentence that usually goes down well at 7:30 in the morning, But to be fair, if I was a sex therapist, you'd look equally as uncomfortable. Stay with me, because here's something fascinating. When someone dies, I sit with their family and ask, what do you want people to remember? What were they like? You know what nobody ever says? They will say, oh, he was great at spreadsheets. Oh, she cleared her inbox every day. Or she absolutely nailed her 5-year business plan. What they say is things like, he made people feel safe. She was fun. He always had time for people. And I always sit there thinking, that legacy isn't built at the end of the day. It's built in ordinary days, every day, in the everyday things that we do, in how we treat people when nobody's watching. Working around funerals hasn't made me more good. It's stripped away the noise. We don't get unlimited time. So build a business, yes. Also, be the person you want to be remembered. Because one day someone will stand, it's an important subject. One day someone will stand up and tell your story. I'm Paul from Essex Celebrants, and I'm sure that people's stories of love, life, and new beginnings are told. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Paul.
Scott gave me his second seals.
You managed to make yourself the person who's going to be remembered. Catherine, you're next. You're followed by Stuart.
Morning everyone, Catherine Foley, Institute Plus. So this afternoon, most schools and colleges will be expecting their sixth form students to hand in their NEA, which is non-exam assessment. The exam rules only allow teachers to give feedback on one draft, so technically once it's submitted, this time it can't be returned. So as I am no longer the subject of these teacher rules, I can help here. Students studying any subject can send me their current draft and I can check about edit it to ensure it's accurate, fluent and engaging. This is a service I can also offer you for any web content, promotional material, letters, social media posts. So if you or anyone you know, need my help to ensure your writing is representing you, your business and your ideas in the best possible way, please let me know. And I'm happy.
Thank you, Catherine. Stuart, you're followed by Toby.
Morning everybody, Stuart from Belgian Networks. We're an managed IT support company, so that means we do Microsoft licensing, IT security, we do data installations, the cabling networks, Wi-Fi networks, we do telephone systems, we do business mobiles as well, a couple of other bits and pieces as well. But what I'm asking for today is to any other businesses that you know that do exactly what we do. We're very busy, but we're still looking to grow, and we're seriously looking into acquiring another business. So what we're on the look for is another business that basically operates in the same area as us. Maybe it's a small business, maybe it's a one-man band, maybe that owner operator is coming towards the end of their career and are looking at possibly the option of selling that business. So please, if you know any other businesses that are in a similar industries of ours that may be considering looking for an exit, please be in touch with me, Stuart at Belgian Networks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Toby, you're followed by Liv.
Good morning, everybody. As most of you know, I'm a licensed practitioner of motivational math. For those who don't know, it's a very simple but dynamic system that allows us to help individuals and businesses to measure, to understand, and to enhance motivation. I didn't do many larger motivational mapping projects last year with businesses, simply because I was focused on another project. But I'm looking to get more of those projects this year. So I'm looking for businesses that maybe sweet spots around about 5 to 25 employees, going through growth, change, maybe they've got a bit of conflict with their team. So what we do with motivational maps, we not only improve productivity and effectiveness, we help people to understand each other, understand themselves, give a common language, which leads to better harmony within the office, and which again improves productivity and effectiveness. So if you know any businesses of that sort of size that would like to have a chat with me about that, please do put me in touch. Toby Acton, Pole Position Business Solutions.
Thank you very much, Toby. Blake, you're followed by Sam.
Morning everyone. Smart home stuff today. As Mike was saying, we're coming into the holiday season, and I've just come back from Morocco, not bragging. And going to talk about, do you know what's going on in your home when you're away? Do you know whether there's water pouring through your ceiling when you're away? Do you know whether there's a fire in your house when you're away? Do you have to give your parents, neighbours, a key to your front door? Well, what if you can use Paul and me, and we put a smart valve into the main water feed. So if there is a leak, and a leak is detected, and you shut off the main water to the house, and all you're going to lose is the water that's in the system currently. With the help of Dave, we can put in smart smoke alarms, so you know if there's a fire in your house when you're 1,000 miles away. Or instead of giving a key to your neighbour, what about a smart door lock, where via the app you can open the door or assign a key to their mobile phone when you're away. And when you get back, you take the key away from them, you know they haven't got your car, and you know your house is still safe. So if that's interesting to you, let me know. Thank you.
I think what's going on with this
Well, maybe you need even more then.
It would be bizarre if somebody got on the plane and went, "Oh, I've left my mobile phone."
I mean, that's disastrous any day.
Apparently, yeah. Sally, you're next, and you're followed by Sylvia.
Morning everyone, Sally Walters from the Land Home Fragrances. I'm not sure where this week went again, but the baby citrus vessel turned up this week. So I showed you a big one last week, which is Big Lisa. This is the baby Belgravia. So these retail at £65. All of my member offers are now on the website, so you can see what discounts you're lucky enough to get. I've also bought my sample box, which is what I take to see corporate clients. So I'm going to bring this for a few weeks. If anyone wants to have a sniff of my fragrances, because it's really hard for me to sell a fragrance, you need to come and have a sniff of this. Just lift these little glass tea lights up and you smell inside. Okay, and you'll get some of the fragrance in there. And the coffee beans are to reset your olfactory bulb, so Paul, you can give it a go with your new nose.
Can't smell just yet. Hopefully next week.
If someone wants to smell the fragrances, they're all here, they're all labelled. And yeah, feel free to come and help yourselves at any time. And any week I'll pop them over there on the table so you can have a sniff. Sally Walters from Land Home Fragrances. Thank you.
Excellent. Right, Sylvia, you're next, and you're followed by John.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sylvia, and I'm working as a clean is commercial residential specialist cleaning company. This week, I would like to tell a story. I went to a 3 days event, and when I arrived, I noticed the stairs in the entrance wasn't really clean, and they weren't clean the entire time. The people hosting the event mentioned a couple of times that they own the building, meaning the cleanliness was their responsibility. And I realized how important is actually the cleanliness, like the image, the reputation of the business, because that's made me question the standards and the quality of the services they provide. You didn't really care even for the first impression. So this week I'm asking if you know some businesses that really need help in the build trust, reputation, and right first impression. We can help wherever it's office, salon, shared space, or event venue, where we can help. Thank you.
Excellent. John, you're followed by Dave.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John Cannon from Germany's Technology. And today, I want you to look for businesses that are still using paper signing visitors. We can provide a digital system which hooks straight to the access control system as well as having visitors. So you've got a live, up-to-date view of what visitors you've got and what staff are in the building. If there's a fire, you don't have to worry whether to have the paper copy or it might even be on fire if there's a fire. You've got an electronic copy in the cloud. You go to your muster point, snap the picture with your mobile phone, and it then gives you a list of all the staff who are in the building and all the visitors. You know who the fire brigade are looking for because as staff go in and out, they get clocked in and out of the system. As visitors arrive, you will have them on the system. And as long as they clock out, they'll be out of the system. But you've got a true and up-to-date copy of it. It's so much better than the paper copy because it's live. And that one is actually coming through at the moment. Thank you. That's John from Newstead.
Thanks, John. Dave, you're next, and you're followed by Terry.
Good morning, everybody. Dave from Mercury Electrical. We carry out all forms of electrical work. This week we've changed the industrial board with around about 50 circuits on it. Took us about 3 days to do that, with the testing as well afterwards. Little jobs, we've replaced the garden lights that had some water in them and the circuit was tripping out. And we've also carried out an emergency spark test, and we've carried out some thermal imaging on the fuse boards to make sure there's no loose connections, overheating cables and stuff like that. But just as a reminder from last week as well, with the EV chargers for the workplace grant, you've got about 1 month to actually get a code to get around about £350 off. Anybody who wants a commercial EV charger at the workplace, then please put me in touch and we'll see what we can do about getting them a grant. Thank you very much, Dave from Electrical.
Thanks, Dave. Right, Terry, you're next, and you're followed by me, you'll be followed by Paul.
Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Terry Rayling from TM Law. So you'll probably all know that in a few months coming up, the housing law is changing dramatically. And I'm getting landlords contacting me all the time. Some in a state of panic, some just in a complete daze, and some of them just haven't got a clue. There are some who are clued up, and that's great. But on the whole, people seem to be panicking. They seem to think that they've got to do things urgently right now, and they haven't. There's a bit of time left to go. And that when the new law does come in at the end of April, not everything's coming in at once. Like a lot of laws, okay, they're going to be phased in. Things like having to register on a portal, having to become part of an ombudsman scheme and so on. They're later on in the year, this year, if at all, maybe next year. But the urgent things are serving tenants with a notice telling them that it's now not a statutory, it's now not an insured short hold tenancy, it's something else. And there's various other things that kick in now. If you know any landlords who are not sure what to do, you know, to tell them to come and see me, Terry Rayling, TM Law.
As you can see, top table, it's the TM Law Green Team. I got some instructions this week that gave me confidence that there is life after AI. A client came on, creating non-voting shares in his company, and he decides that he needs the articles amended to reflect that. And he'd been into AI, and they produced these revisions to his articles. And he said he just wanted to run them past me to make sure they were okay. But I asked him, well, have you got a shareholders agreement in place that might override the articles? And he said, yeah, we did enter into one not too long ago. So anyway, I asked him to send that through to me. And then I start going through. AI is only as good as the questions you ask it. And so there is life after death. I quoted you a price to look for things. You can only interpret, and I will be advising him further in relation to the articles as they're produced. The only problem is I might have to start from scratch. Never mind, that's Aidan Squire from TM Law, and I'm followed by Paul.
Morning, Paul Booth from Brentwood, Chartered Certified Accountants. We don't just do accounts, tax returns, payroll, and VAT, and the rest. We also do special or more unusual work. So we're working with Terry for a client, challenging a share valuation by these experts, which we're not happy with. So there's quite a lot of work on that, which we're challenging with. Another piece of work that came in yesterday was an existing personal tax client. She's got 50% shares in the company, but she's got no income or anything from her ex-partner. So it's quite a big company, so we're trying to unravel it so that she can get the full value that's owed to her without it being disappearing to someone else. So that's the type of work we do. Paul Booth from Booth & Co. Midnight Tax. That's my door.
Paul. Right, that is the end of the 62nd round. Thank you all for your contributions. Put you all lots of questions for the Q&A afterwards. The Oscar, the award.
So a few honourable mentions today. Sylvia, I think that was a really good pitch about, looking at the wider picture for people and helping them with their reputation, something to be mindful of. I thought Paul did a really good job with his, but unfortunately overran massively and ignored my bell, so you can't run it.
It's price worth paying.
Sally in the sample box, I think is a really great idea, and I love to obviously reference Paul's relevant surgery, it's nice, so don't forget. But the winner is Blake for, because last week he terrified me with his AI smart home stuff about how I could follow you around and everyone would know where you are. So this week to have something useful. That your house isn't leaking, you're on fire.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Well done, Blake. Right, as I say, end of the 62nd round, so we move on. Next is the meeting secretary's report. Normally we would stop dealing with it, but do the thing?
Yeah, sorry I can't tell you about what happened last week. Obviously, I haven't had any of the information, but I can tell you what's happening this week. And these bits of paper that you've all handed round, we've got 16 of these, so 16 business opportunities to hopefully earn some money between us. And in terms of, apart from thank yous and the testimonials and everything, thank you for the money, around £10,000 this week. That's not too shabby. So I don't know what last week was, and we can find out next week. That's where we are at today.
Thanks, Terry. Right. We move on. Normally at this stage I'd be asking Ben to stand up and introduce for 10 minutes. He produced a list of people who are going to be speaking either for the education slot or for 10 minutes. Watch out for his email. You can see what the up-to-date position is there. So we move on to the Q&A. Now, you've listened to everybody. Has anybody asked? I'll start and ask for anybody with a question. Paul.
Question for Dave, please. The commercial EV chargers.
Yeah.
Can you get them set up so if the general public or whoever comes along and wants to charge their car, you get sort of monetised for it?
Yeah, but you might get a grant on it. The grants are only for like the owner to use,
Right.
or their staff. But yeah, you can actually set them up to sort of
And you
get
keep,
used to money.
on those ones, you can secure them so that no one else can use them other than yourself?
Yeah, you can actually. Yeah.
All right, okay, thank you.
Joey.
Question for Paul. So you can do an EBITDA calculation. Yeah. Can you do comps and find a multiplier for that yourself?
We
In
can
fact,
do
to get
it.
specialists for
Yeah,
that.
it tends to be specialist. I have looked at it before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a specialist, but I have done it before.
Okay.
But if there's anything that needs to be challenging, it's what it's about. I'll say someone who does it all the time.
All right, thank you.
Hello, a question about these. We've got a few here. So that might be a stupid question. I don't know about this one. If you had one of those in one part of your room, you've got a big room, say, and you had another in another part of the room, would they fight each other, or would you just do complementary sense?
So we call that scent fusion. There you go. So I work quite a lot with some of my more premium customers to blend fragrances. So quite often they might have, let's say, some nice diffuser in their room all the time, which gives them like a kind of permanence of fragrance. And then I would give them advice that after dark is a great pairing with that. So in the evening, when they switch off from work, they'll light an after dark candle, and the two blend really well together. So part of the way that we design the fragrances is that we can do fragrance fusion. They won't, well, they will if you put the wrong ones together, but we advise our clients which ones go well. So energize goes obviously very well with relax and so on. So yeah, we can help with that. But the answer is we to see if you could share. Yeah, but some people love it. They don't, they'll mix and match and be happy.
No, that's it. I've been a kid. As a kid, I thought I'd wear some aftershave, try and tempt the ladies in. And I thought, oh, not aftershave. And I put about 4 different aftershaves. And I smelled like shit. Yeah, brew. Old Spice. That's it. Old Spice. Aramis. All the drinks.
It's nothing to do with business, it's to do with the language. Are you finding your taste is more sensitive?
That's still supposed to talk.
No. Oh, that's a very sensitive subject. At the moment, no. I just can't breathe that well at the moment. To be honest with you. I know just runners constantly, but it's I'm hoping by this time next week I'll notice an actual improvement. Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me, mate, can I just butt in with a quick nose one while we're asking that? Was that snoring issue?
Snoring was one of them.
Has it helped?
Apparently
Don
so.
having one very quickly.
Apparently so. I haven't drunk for 3 weeks either, so I think that might have something to do with it.
I'll be interested to hear the updates about snoring.
Yeah, no, apparently, well, my wife's moved back into the bedroom, so all good news.
Sorry, Mike. I didn't think you'd be going down the nose route, so let's just get it.
I'm glad to ask that question.
I've done mine.
So more about noses. No, I was going to focus on AI home fusion instead. When you're talking about having you control plumbing, does that all tie into one app, or do you need to have numerous different ones that you're looking at? Or?
Most of the stuff comes with its own app.
Yeah.
There is an app out there which I use called Home Assistant, which does tie everything into one place. And the bonus of Home Assistant is it's on premise, so it's yours. There's no cloud fees, there's nothing to pay. Once you've got the equipment set up at home, it's free to use.
It works with all different brands of lights.
Yeah. It's got custom integrations as well, so you can make your own integrations and you can get things to work. Don't work currently. But yeah, basically, you could have an IKEA light bulb here and a Q light bulb over there, and they work in tandem when you press one button. So it does take having 40 apps on your phone for different things to one place.
Yeah.
Even to the point you can put your most vacuum cleaners can integrate into it now. So you can see the life of the filters, the rollers, the brushes, and it will tell you all on the little screen how long you've got left until you place the filter and stuff. And air purifiers. That's a good one. Instead of having to keep looking in the app, you can have a little tablet on the wall which shows. So yeah, it all can even go into one app.
Follow-up question on that. Will that use like if the maps routines?
Yes. If you want it remote outside the house, you'll need to set up some sort of remote setup.
Yeah.
I guess was that what you were asking for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the time we use like Cloudflare and use Cloudflare tunneling, and then you won't have to worry about any of that.
Another follow up on that one. So if we wanted the smart valve and the smart smoke, would we come to you or would we go to Paul and Dave?
So Paul and Dave will do the install,
right,
and I'll do the setting up,
right,
and programming, just because it's easier that way than me trying to learn how to plumb. But when you've got a plumber in your group and when you've got an electrician, their services are there to be used as well as mine. So.
And in answer to your further supplemental question, yes, that's 2 referrals.
Yeah.
Free or even free.
Free. Yeah. That's going to lessen the blow of Doug telling Dom he needs nasal surgery. He loves a bit of smart tech.
I've got one for Toby. That's all right. I've got most of my engineers work for us. I know what motivates them. I know what makes them happy. But I've got a couple of guys I just cannot work out to save my life. And the more I've been at EBF, the more I think it would be good to have you just come and do this motivational mapping. I think in all we've got about 10 people. It'd just be interesting to know what sort of price you'll do.
Yeah,
per person. Yeah, but it's just the more I think about it, the more I think. And there's a couple of them. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're not. You're like, oh my god, I can't work you out.
Yeah. And if you have real problems after that, if you need to make any redundant, I'll get rid of it.
Oh. That's not what the process is for.
What for Stephen? Oh, I think fleet insurance.
Yes.
What's the minimum size? And if you've got vehicles?
Traditionally, it used to be 5 vehicles. There are insurers I deal with that will do it for 2, maybe 3, but it depends on the schedule of vehicles. If it's predominantly high-end, you're going to give me a sort of fleet version, fully loaded Range Rover or something, I might struggle. If it's a mix of commercial vehicles, should be an issue.
You mind the vans, but
yeah, fine.
If the current policies run out at different times, what's the best way to bring them all together? Like
Well, if it's on individually rated policies, what I would actually say is, because a fleet, there's a minimum vehicle requirement, we have to start off. We can't start off with maybe 1 and add the vehicles along. Is to effectively, when the next one is due for renewal, give me all the details of the no claims bonus history of the individually rated. I can set up a fleet. You can cancel, surrender the current contracts. You can go back to the insurer concerned and say the policy is no longer fit for purpose. They should just pro rata cancel the policy on the basis that there's been no claims. So essentially, you don't lose out, and then you've got a new policy moving forward. So the fleet policy is designed to be a lot more flexible in nature. So whereas individually rated policies are what we regard as named and approved, so you detail exactly who's driving, what the driving history is. Fleet policy are generally drivers over a certain age, they're licensed a certain period, and have generally no more than 6 points in the licence or no major convictions. That's not to say you can't have them on there, but we would need to know.
Thank you.
I've got one for Sylvia. Sylvia, what area do you cover? Because obviously I'm out in Dunmore, so a lot of businesses, people that I deal with, local, or they're going to be locally over that way. Is that an area that you would cover?
Yes, we do cover. I can say all Essex area, but for commercial entertainment categories, cleaning, all the stuff, carpet cleaning, but we don't cover for domestic cleaning, meaning regular weekly cleaner, because this is one cleaner usually travel by transport, and I don't really have main cleaners in that area. But most of my cleaners are around me. There are teams travel by car, van, so we can cover the Essex area. So for commercial entertainment, after builders, carpet cleaning, we will cover.
Steve?
Ask Toby. What sort of advice would you give for a business like ours, which has probably experienced a few growing pains? Essentially, our business model for many years was essentially a account director's full 360, whereas now what we're trying to do is the account director focus on placement of insurance and overseeing the client relationship, and we're getting people to support the account directors. There's been a lot of changes within the actual office, so structurally how people are responsible and what have you. So what sort of advice you might give?
My advice would be have a chat with me or have a chat but it's important to help for people to understand those changes and how they affect them, and also, of course, how is that something that really drives them, or are they unhappy with that? We need to know what they're thinking. That's right.
I've got a geography question like Sally had to Mike. Is there a radius that you would prefer not to go outside of when you're looking for glamping and holiday camps?
I try and avoid Southend, Basildon. Don't we all? Absolutely, they're quite happy to travel nationally, quite to travel internationally, but it's the ruins favourite. Yeah, no. Anyway, especially for like holidays and camping things. It kind of obviously depends on the size of the job. If people are just wanting, a few quick photos to update one section, it's like they're not going to want to pay me to go to Yorkshire for it or something like that. But if it's a full sort of revamp of their media, then fantastic.
So you could do
Absolutely.
In the surfing season.
How do you get into spelling stuff?
How did I get into swimming? I've got basically. So my dad was a cosmetic chemist, and he worked for Yardley and May Baker, mainly Yardley, Estee Lauder, Marks and Spencer, Sainsbury's, with all of their fragrance and cosmetics. And so that was my life growing up. As a kid, we used to bring stuff home for us to experiment with, and we used to make our own soaps. We used to make our own perfume. My brother used to try and make their own old shape. Didn't help me with a girlfriend. And so I got with it. But he didn't want any of us to really pursue that career because it was for the love of the science rather than the stability of the career. So
you did it anyway.
London, quite Dickinson, and I was an insurance broker.
But you'll find out more about Sally's backstory in a few weeks' time.
That's it. That's my synopsis.
Question for you, Steve. I've got some policies some properties in my name, some in joint names with my wife, and some under a limited company. Would that make it difficult to have a portfolio policy?
Yes.
Because you've got different legal entities.
Is there commonality in?
I'm the commonality. I'm very common.
If there's commonality in the directors are actually named on the policies, potentially we could do something.
Okay.
But it's not definitely with these. I need to kind of review the specifics on it. I mean, if we can group a portfolio together, we always try to.
Yeah.
Let's have a review and see what's there.
That looks like a meeting between the two of you then.
Does, yeah.
Got a question for Paul again. Paul, I've potentially got a new personal injury client who has been working for years and not declaring income. I'm thinking if I work with this client, we can claim loss of earnings going forward. And how big a problem is that? Because it's someone we can refer to, to sit down with and talk to them about the past misdemeanors, bring it up to that. That's doable. Because I can tell that the potential client is not doable if it isn't. I mean, you always want to put it right with HMRC.
Sorry.
Because if the other side starts asking for proof from HMRC, then there's nothing there, of course. So, you know, and then, so, I mean, yeah, I can help. I can look at it, certainly. And it might be, these cases often look worse than they are in terms of what they think could be a problem with HMRC isn't necessarily a problem. Right, thank you.
Compensation could pay his tax bill.
Let you know if it comes off.
Right. Last question.
Yeah. For Glory, I would like to ask what's the main benefits for the individual to have the motivational map? So wondering that it's really important for the the business to help drive the people, but what's the benefits for the individual?
For the individual. One of the major benefits that helps with decision making. So once you know what drives your decision making process, you make better and quick decisions. And in business or in life, if you're making better, quick decisions, you tend to be happier. You tend to be more content with those decisions. People often struggle with decision making because they don't understand. They're like, I can't decide first, and I don't know why I can't decide. So that's one of the major benefits. But also helps them understand relationships as well. I've done a lot of work with some referrals I had from a family and marriage counsellor to help people understand their relationship. But that's outside of business, that's a really interesting area to work in.
Right. That's your lot. Well done, everybody. Thank you for making that a very useful Q&A. Because we don't do them often, they're always very useful when you have them. So well done, everybody. Let's move on. Moving on means the referrals and testimonial round. Yes, please, Paul. Yeah. If we start with Paul and you do the running.
Yeah, congratulations, Stephen, on joining. I'm sure you're doing very well actually. Well done, Blake. And you know about that.
Yeah,
good meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Paul, for participating here. Sylvia, why you joined us? Steve, nice to see you here as well. Okay, I've got just one referral from Terry, which we discussed earlier. So I'm still recovering from my celebrations that started around about 2:30 on Saturday. No. Still good. Yeah, I will be for the next year. I've got thank you to the main Paul. Thanks, Mick. Very much.
That's the one. Oh, we put the wrong one in.
Oh, yeah.
These newbies.
It's very nice to start going as well.
Yeah.
What else that came out that's full of green things?
Yeah.
Just like Steve, I've got a referral for Silas.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. God knows what I've written. Right, I'll be on 4 next week. Actually, I'm not really sure.
So really excited to give my first information and to say a big thank you to Terry. Love it, plan. And for you made my life easier because I've been doing this which is fine. Thank you.
I'm the movie now.
Yeah.
Just filling this in now actually, but one for Toby to potentially see if you might help the team with some of its growing pains. But thanks for having me, guys. And actually there'll be someone new joining this on the newbie.
Thanks, yeah, it's not Paul. Thank you everyone for the 10 minutes. Fantastic. I have a referral for Matthew for a new logo. I did off Mesh a little while ago. And also one for Steve as well, for professional indemnity. Welcome to Steve Swindon. It's great to have you on board. And I think that's it. Corrigan out. Cheers.
I've got one for Paul, which we found out yesterday. He's playing golf today, so not trying.
Oh, super.
He wanted to do it, but yeah. And Dr. Steve. That's it.
Thank you for the excellent, Paul. Really good idea about that as well. I think if anybody else has obviously got those kind of ideas about how we can get more visitors and get more members, that would be great. I have got a referral from Paul, my friend who's sort of me, who gets in touch with him. I had a one-to-one with Terry, which was lovely, of course, and one with Sylvia last week, which was really nice. Also one with Sally, been a busy bee, and we had a ladies' lunch, which was gorgeous. And so I've had a very fun week. I'll have a good one. I'll see you all next week.
Well done on the Oscar, great Stockport, and welcome to Sylvia and Steve. Just the one referral for me this week to Mr. Corrigan, who's coming out tomorrow to store.
It's quite difficult.
Yeah, it's like good
All I'm hearing is it sounds like two people that need a smart mouth fitted.
Did you help Islington Council out? Thames Water over at Islington, did you help them out?
Yeah, pretty good. This is the Oscar. Great meeting everybody. Welcome, Steve. Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Right, I've got two referrals. One making travel back and forth. One's for Sylvia, and one's for Sarah. Spoken to her about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sally.
On the Q&A. Yes, I'm pleased you turned up with your nose today. I hope you covered sufficient.
What drink is it?
Reading last week?
That would be nice.
Welcome, Steve. Good to see you, and hopefully in a few months' time my PI insurance comes up for all the annual battles. I'll speak to you well in advance.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
It's always good fun. Great one-to-one with Sarah. Thank you for sharing your ideas with us. They've got lots of ideas. We're going to bounce them around, and we're going to, welcome. Give that to Sarah.
Thank you.
Testimonial for Sylvia. She didn't want her to start over to clean my office. Hadn't been cleaned since I moved in there in 2020. I've been busy, right?
Is that what she was talking about?
That's probably did a fantastic job. Coming next week, when you open the door and go, wow, that's a good testimonial, right? Everything bang on time, turned up bang on time, left her, let her get on with it, come in the morning, opened it up, thought, wow, so that's, I can't say any more than that. Thank you.
Did you that carpet's not actually right?
No.
Right.
Now we've got to do it get smelling nice and Sally, that end you're working on that one.
Spurs goes, mate.
Belgravia diffuser and sunrise scent, please.
Sounds like a nice feature.
One for Howard, lady came into my office, my newly cleaned office, right? And she needed a document signed, so I did all that. And then she went, all I need now is a financial advisor. Because I had all empty work. Have Howard's card, and she's running for that. I'll give that to Howard. And then Mike, need some shots for me and Aidan. Like he did before, but slightly different. Scott wants him to do a new website. He wants them on location, so he wants me outside the court. He wants us.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
we'll talk about that.
Oh, you come and sit recently in my office.
Yeah.
That excites me.
Right, I have got a referral to Sarah, which she already knows about, which is for some VA assistance. And yes, we had a one-to-one, and we had a ladies' meet-up last Friday, which was really lovely. And there's a couple, there's all on here. A couple of thank you for the monies to Sarah and to Leanne, so you can go and see what it
Yeah, great meeting.
nice to have new people here. Steve, I will send you an email telling you dates for an hour insurance so you can feed your family to be my years off. I've got one for the synergy with Sarah, 2 thanks for the monies to blame, and 2 for Stuart, so give that to Stuart. And I'll see you all next week.
On this little hook here again.
That's what I have.
Yeah, I was away last week, so I'm afraid no bits of paper to give out or anything, but yeah, back in full into flow. I'm a little relatively quiet next week, early past. I've been on one-to-ones or anything. Give me a shout, but otherwise, yeah, see you all next week.
Excellent meeting, great excellent, thank you for really good idea actually. I like that. I have got I had a sort of social, first all through a one-to-one with Paul to talk about business. Not Paul, what's his name? Stop. We went to the current Formula One World Champion over with Apollo and talked about business on the way, but social and business, he's not here anyway. And then one for Jane, who's not here today, HPMC for my parents. She was great actually, she just kept updating me about when it was arriving. So yeah, really good communication.
Did you notice that? You said you did talk about business. That makes it. Yeah.
It's a social and yeah.
Well done.
Don't worry.
Great, look, that's such a good idea about visitors. Obviously, all my clients are students, but maybe it's media stationery. Yeah, so I will leave them with bits of paper that I scrawled all over, and then their parents might see that. So if we want to make some of that, I can help sell it. What was I going to say? Oh God. That lovely week. I forgot what it is. I'll come back to you. Oh yeah, do you know what it was? The Q&A. That was the first thing we did. My very first meeting. I don't think we've had one since then.
No.
I thought it was a regular thing. Scott said, "Oh, we do this quite often."
Once a year.
It's only when there's a breakdown, but it is only effective because we don't have many of them. But it's very useful.
Yeah, great meeting. Yeah, great idea. I think it's kind of key to sort of work out exactly what the right things are to put in the footer. But yeah, if we've got the right opportunities, I think we'd be great. I've got a referral for Terry. Shannon was in touch with you with regards to that. I'm not sure. She gave all the details to the client, so hopefully he'll get in touch, but we'll see what happens there. I won't be here next week, neither will Shannon. She is sunning herself in Africa, and I'll be in Blackpool. But other than that, we're all good. I think I've got that one wrong somehow, but anyway. Yeah, anything that you guys need, obviously, get in touch. We're both kind of ticking things over where needs to. But yes, what's also living life. Cool, great meeting, thanks so much.
If when you're in Blackpool you go out and walk and say you can do for strips,
I don't think that will be my priority.
What's the total? That, ladies and gentlemen, is it. However, I will stand before you to once again give you the opportunity, before I send you on your way, out into the sunshine, before I do all of that, and notice this announcements.
Paul, because of busy diaries, we were going to record a International Women's Day special tomorrow, and we shift it to the following week. So I'll put it on the WhatsApp group. If any ladies are available, it would be great if you come on. Just have a general check out being a woman run the business.
Would it be the Friday?
Yes.
Would it still be at 12 o'clock?
I could move it. It was just 12 o'clock to do that stuff the other day. But I'll put it on there.
Is that the 6th?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't do next Friday. I'm in Blackpool.
Oh, come on.
That's a nice call then.
Skip the trip. Skip the trip to one of the Jerusalem offices and join the call.
Don't rule it out, but I'll probably be driving for 4 hours and 10 minutes that it'll take to get up there.
You'll be less on Friday.
Well, I may be going Thursday. That's where I've got to finalise all my plans.
I'll put a message out on WhatsApp about Monday the 13th of April. There's a quiz night. There's a pub literally just around the corner here, Rose and Crown. Meal, drinks, and it's every other week as well. So Anyway, if it's good, essentially it could be a regular thing. Is that no?
Wait.
You get other people to make the team up.
I don't know how big the teams are. I'm gonna have to email them. But as soon as I get the numbers, I mean, Stuart did say to me, if I do something in Brentwood, he will definitely be there. So I might say yes for Stuart. And it's literally around the corner to his house as well.
Right, we've had one Paul, we've got the other Paul.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more mileage on the nose-related jokes for next week. So, yeah, it's been a lot more there. Maybe even have a nose-related 60 seconds.
That was brilliant.
I
Next
think so.
week. Does anyone want to make that please?
Well,
Yes, about nose stuff. Yeah.
Then we'll have to come in fancy dress.
Favourite book character.
Right, okay, I've had enough of it. I'll go. So, it's lovely out there. And a great meeting. Looking forward to your contributions. See you next week.